You have an empty pipeline if you're not using Sales Navigator. Look, I have sourced millions in pipeline by using this tool. It is the most under-leveraged tool in the B2B SaaS world. Tons of data, yet most people don't know how to use it. So I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process on how to do your search filters, saving these lists, saving your accounts, and most importantly, giving you something you can use consistently without being overwhelmed. Let's get into it.
So here we are on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator homepage, and we're going to come back here. We're not going to start here. We're going to actually start with the lead filters. In my experience, I have found that this is the best search filter for Sales Navigator. We will be talking about other ones as well, but this is the best one to convert opportunities and close business, which is why you're here. And so there's 5 that I found to be elite, like the best ones. And as you see, there's a lot here. And as J. Cole would say, a lot. So the main 5 that I'm going to walk you through may be different for your main 5 because it's due to your buyers in your industry, and that's completely fine, which is why I want to hear from you all so that we can make sure this is tactical for you as well. What is your buyer personas? Because I can make separate videos on how to do this for your buyer personas and industries across the board. So let me know, but let's go into the main 5. So past company, current job title, seniority level, spotlights, and also connection. Now, why? Past company, because I want y'all to think about this. Let's say that you have a customer and it's HubSpot, because they're a big one. People know what that is. Every time someone leaves HubSpot and they go to a new opportunity, that is a new opportunity for you. The reason for that is if your customer was HubSpot, you could use that as a touch point or a familiarity touch point when reaching out to someone who previously worked at HubSpot and went somewhere else. So you know a lot of people work there. There's also a lot of people who potentially could leave and go find new opportunities. And now that's a great way to have continuous pipeline without being too stressed out. So I love past company, especially if there's a big company that I've worked with in the past. I'm using this all day long. Next thing is the current job title. You want to make sure the people you're reaching out to are the right titles. You could just put marketing, but there's a lot of different marketing titles, and you're going to see how I do that here in a minute. So you want to make sure that's there. Seniority level. Look, we don't want to reach out to people who can't buy. So this allows you to find the right executive buyers, the people who actually want to engage with you so that you can have the right conversations, which is the key of what we want. Spotlights. I love spotlights. So this is my favorite section. Look at what it has. Change jobs and change job the past 90 days. That's important because everyone who changes their job wants to come into that organization and make an impact. So if you're the person that can show on how to make an impact, massive. That's huge. Mentioned in the news the last 30 days. Great. If they follow your company. I don't know if you knew about that one. That's a hidden gem. That's a whole separate video in itself. And then you see even viewed your profile in the last 90 days. This section is bananas. Like my mind is blowing every time I see this. Just data overload. And that's why I said this is under leverage and there's a ton here. And then connection. The key here is as you add more people, you want to see who you're first degree connected with so you can ask for referrals and stay on top of your network. This is the best way to do that without having to go to your LinkedIn and go one by one. You could do it at Sales Navigator and do it at scale. So now that you know what the main 5 filters are, my bonus here is the company headcount. Some of you may only want to reach out to certain companies on a certain time. I also like industry because you may be verticalized and say, hey, I only like defense and space or computer hardware, mine's software development, and also geography. Some of you may be broken down by geography. And some people ask me this a lot. Hey, I have a territory by postal code. Sales Nav's got you with the postal code as well. So those are some bonuses, but let's dive into building a list. So like I said, I'm going to go after marketers and let's start with the current job title. Now, what I like to do is put this quotations right over this so that I can get a defined search to find what I want. So I'm going to go after demand marketers and then I'm going to put or, right? It's called the Boolean search here, or CMO or marketing. And that's all I need here. So this starts my search. Now we have 7 million results. Yo, that's a lot. A lot. 7 million? Whoa, I don't have time to go through 7 million people. That's why we're going to refine this search and use the stuff that we talked about. So I only want to go after VPs and C-suite. So let's see how much that brings this down. So now we're going to go down to probably about, 500,000. We're getting closer. Spotlights. I'm going to see, who's changed jobs in the past 90 days, right? Because these people will make decisions And we like that. 17,000. Okay, we're getting it down. And so the other thing I'm going to add here is let's add a bonus. Let's add a bonus for you all. So let's add software development just so you can see how this search like really dwindles down. Okay, 810 results. So I went from 7 million to 810, right? And so you see how when these filters are used appropriately, it's going to set you up for success. Now, what I'm going to do is look at all these different pieces I have and see what I have. So I like this so far. This is a pretty solid list from the couple that I'm seeing. So I like it. So now the thing I'm going to do is click save the search. You can also share this search as well with your colleagues, but let's save it for now. So I'm just going to put marketing leaders, software development, 90 days. And I'm going to save the search. Now, when I've saved the search, you see this button up here says Save Searches. I want you all to click it. And so check this out. I've already been working on my Save Searches. I've been doing this for a while, as you can see. But now it's right here. And so check this out. I'm going to click it. And then here we are. We have our search. This is absolutely important. I want you to pause at this point of the video. And I also want you to just write this down and say, I will always save my searches that are valuable, because you don't want to have to keep doing this every single time. This is wasting your time, and this is pointless to continuously do the same thing over and over again. Save your search. Now it's refined. You don't have to go back to it, and now you're set. But the most important part is we need to go back to save searches because I got a hidden gem for y'all. Y'all ready?
No.
I got a hidden gem.
She wasn't ready.
See this new button, the green button? This is your best friend. This is your inbound engine that you're creating because you saved the searches. So not only am I talking about saving time, I'm also talking about having inbounds that come directly to you. So let's just look at an example that we talked about. So remember when I talked about previous organizations? So we have previous Salesforce marketing leaders. Great. So I'm going to click this and it says 391. Now I'm going to open this in a different window and I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. So it says 391 new. It comes up to about 272. Now, I'm showing you all this because what happens here is it's filtering along the way on a daily basis. So some people will drop in and out of this search. So when you see new, I recommend people to hop on it pretty quickly because some people will drop out of the search because people are changing jobs or whatever that may be. So just be mindful of that. And then also you'll see what I have here as well is current company. I X out the current company and then I put the past company because someone could have current company, past company of Salesforce, go somewhere and then they could come back to Salesforce, for example, right? So I X that out. And you see right here, I have the current job title as well. And then I also the seniority level. And then you see I have all these new people in this search. So again, this is your inbound lead funnel from the saved search you already had. Phenomenal. Now, here's something pretty interesting about this that I'm going to show y'all. Let's refresh this. I want y'all to notice something. So I go back to previous Salesforce. Try to find it real quick. Okay, give me a second. Okay, previous Salesforce, you see this right here? It's no longer an option, so I can't click this anymore. And so you got to make sure that you're opening it in another tab, go through these people, and then once you're done, you're done. You cannot go back. All right, y'all, like, don't come at me like, hey, Morgan told me to do this and it's not there anymore. Yeah, because it doesn't come back. So make sure that you open up another tab, keep it there, and you're going to be set. But don't make the mistake of clicking this, exit out of it, and then you realize you can't do it again. But you'll notice I have a ton of these different options here, and you can continuously click this as much as you want. And then over time, with our new search that we just made here at the top, it will have new results within the next couple days. So we've saved our searches. You know how to look at the inbound to get more pipeline there. Now, let's go back to the saved search that we had, and let's start building a lead list. So the reason I like this is because if you are a seller, a business owner, it doesn't really matter. You need to every single day take ownership of pipeline development. Yet it's really hard when you don't know who to reach out to. And you're like, well, I guess I should reach out to Sally and Bob. I don't know. You're frantic. This is why you want to save your leads from your saved searches to create a pipeline to prospect, to create more pipeline. So let's show you how to do that. I'm going to pick like 5 people from a time perspective. So let's pick Doug. And I'm going to go over here and create a new list. And that new list is going to be called, let's say, Marketing 90 Days Prospecting. And let's say Leads to Prospect in Q1. I'm going to save that. So now Doug is saved. So now what I'm going to do is continuously do that. So Heidi, she will also go in this as well. Jeremy will go in this as well. Melissa. All right. Okay, so we have 5 people. Now I'm going to go back to leads, but I'm going to go to the lead list. And you'll notice I have a lot of things going on. So let's click Marketing 90 Days Prospecting. So you'll notice these are the 5 people I just added, and now I can go prospect them, engage with them, however I see fit. And this is a great way to hold yourself accountable to consistent, right? Consistent prospecting, right? We need that, right? Otherwise, you're lost. What I also like here is the outreach activity. So you'll see there's no activity here, which is like pretty interesting, right? The reason that's there is it's your outreach activity inside of LinkedIn, which no other place can track this except for Sales Navigator. That's why I absolutely love this platform and I absolutely love the tool, because it allows you to do things like this that people typically don't do. What I also love about this as well is it tells you from these people that you picked out how they changed jobs. Now, all 5 have this because our filter was 90 days, but you'll notice over time that these people will be in their position and then they'll change again. And it lets you know who's changing jobs. So you're always staying on top of it and being mindful where other people may be lacking on this. You can remain ahead, which is the name of the game, which is timing, and other filters you see here as well. So what I also like is you could use this view and search. So you also can see them in another view if you want. And then you can see additional details if you want from here to message, etc. But that just gives you another view. So let's go back to the lead list, right? Here's something you need to pay attention to, all right? Here's another hidden gem. Y'all, I'm digging out hidden gems for y'all in this video. Most people will create lists and then forget about them. Make sure that you pay attention to your list every single day and time block this to go prospect from this list. But that's not the hidden gem. That was kind of like a side gem. This is the real hidden gem. Like, we got to dig for this one. Create a list of all the people that you've done business with and add them to your list on Sales Navigator. Why? This is your digital inventory of all the clients you've worked with, or a Rolodex, as some people may call it. But we're going to call it just your digital inventory of clients. It's very difficult to keep up with these relationships as you're selling. It just is. It was a hard thing for me as well. So when I was in the full sales cycle role, I was like, okay, how do I keep up with all these people so that I could reach out to them, have conversations, etc.? You know what I found out? I created a list. So now we're going to go in here. Of all the people I've worked with across my entire career, I can see what they're doing and what they're up to without having to click on every single person. So these are also all decision makers, by the way. These aren't every single individual in the world, like every single individual contributor. No, these are just the executives and people that I've worked with, right? Or director level as well. So what I'm going to do here and show y'all is what I just mentioned earlier, the change jobs in the past 90 days. So now that I'm here, I can look at every single person that I've ever worked with. And that goes from a director to an executive. And sometimes managers are mixed in there because some people change their roles, right? And originally they were director, maybe they went back somewhere else. That's fine. But I'm just keeping tabs on people that I've worked with that could eventually help me in some capacity, right? And their jobs will change over time. That's why I keep tabs on it to see what they're doing and what they're up to. But every time they change a job, this is my message. There's also something for y'all to pay attention to. And if you use it, let me know. Hi, let's say, I reached out to Edward. Hey, Edward, notice that you moved over to your new company. Hope that means a lot to you professionally and personally. That's it, y'all. When someone changes their job, They barely know how to log into their applications yet. Don't ask them for a meeting because they're not going to be able to help you. They don't even know what they're doing yet. So just reaching out and saying, hey, notice your move. Congrats. Hope it means a lot to you professionally and personally. Will put you in the right spot across the board. And now you can have a great dialogue and conversation with them. And I've found that people reach out to me 2-3 weeks later saying, oh, wow, congrats on that move, or congrats on that thing. And they'll reach out to me saying, oh yeah, like appreciate you reaching out. And then 2 weeks later they want a meeting, right? So it's just something to be mindful of, that reaching out and saying congrats goes an extremely long way. And it's really helpful for people to just receive that thanks and that congrats, because they probably don't get it often from people that they've worked with. And then it leads right to a sell. You're not selling anything. You're just saying congratulations. So build this list, make it impactful. This will change the game for you. And you can continuously add lists if you want to. There's also system generated lists. And I found that these system generated lists are quite helpful, especially recently accepted connections. It allows me to stay on top of everyone I connect with. But these are just examples. Now, we know how to do the search filters for leads. We know how to do our saved searches. We know how to build our own lists and congratulate people based on the message I just talked about. Now let's go into account filters. Now, like I told y'all, I like lead filters way more than account filters. However, there is a time and place for account filters. Some people, that's just their thing. Like, pick your vibe, do your thing. I just think lead filters are better, but I will show you account filters as part of this process. So what am I doing here? You'll notice that there's, again, a couple filters. There are 3 main filters that I really like. Really 4 if we want to go into it, that I suggest to clients and customers. So let's talk about it. Company headcount growth, department headcount growth, job opportunities, and like I said, the 4th one, industry. Now, bonuses. Annual revenue, great. Some people really want to dive into that. That's fine. Even technologies used, I found that it's not as 100% accurate, but it is still something that you can do. That's why I lean on the 4 I gave you. So let's pull up an example of how I would do this. Now, why is company headcount growth important? Because if the company is growing, there's more opportunities for them to hire, ultimately, obviously, more people. And also that means that if they're growing, they probably have more revenue to potentially spend on something of your service and product. It's as simple as that. Then industry, we're going to stick to what we were on. So software development. So we're going to stay in the same realm for this video. Then department headcount. This is really key. Think about it. If you're going after accounting, IT, finance, you can be like, okay, is this department growing? Because a company could be growing, but the department could not, right? That's why I like company the best overall, because it's like, is the company growing great? Maybe there's opportunities for me to start conversations as the other departments grow. But if you're finding a department growing and you sell to that department, that's even better, right? To validate what you're going to do. So marketing, we're just going to do 10 to 20%. And you can make these larger, by the way. For the example, I'm just keeping this super simple. And then job opportunities. Are you hiring? Look, if you're not hiring on LinkedIn, that means your team's potentially not growing, right? And that means that there's a problem. So that's why I like to see 10 to 20% growth and the hiring, because then it really brings it all together. If they're not growing, that means that they're probably not looking for potentially new people to align with. Now they could be, but they're potentially probably not. That's why I like leaning on the growth and the hiring to validate that they're moving in a positive direction. The more growth that is happening, the more opportunities and gaps that they have to potentially fill. And that's where you're coming into play as the business owner or seller. And so let's save 5 of these. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to create a list. Scroll down a little bit. I'm going to create a list. They playing me, y'all. They don't want me to show y'all the goods. All right, here we go.
They don't want you to float in the water.
We're going to make this list and we're just going to call it growth companies in software development. I can't spell today. Good thing we got the helpers here. All right, cool. Growth companies in software development. And I'm going to put / marketing, hiring. It's a large list, but you're going to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to do accounts to target in Q1. Okay. And you can make your names better, and I'm just giving y'all an example of how to do it. So boom, it's been added. Let's add 4 more for the sake of this exercise. Okay, we'll add this. Okay, we'll add them. We'll add you. And we'll add this one. All right, cool. Great. So we added 5. And now once you're done with this, you can also save your search. So we could just do growth, marketing, software development. And then I could put hiring. I could save the search. And again, if we go back to save searches, I also have this as well. I also have the new again. So you notice how this process is, you can replicate it. Now let's go back into the accounts because I already showed you how to do that in the leads. It's the same thing. So let's just hop right over to the account list. You see I have my current accounts I'm working on that I already have here. Again, I don't use this often, but some people love this. So I'm just showing you how to do it. So here I'm going to click my growth companies. And you'll notice that the top filters, once it loads, is different. Senior leadership changes. Personally, this is why I like it. This is where it has a little bit of edge to me because it shows me when was the last outreach I've had to a person in this account on both spectrums. I think that's fantastic, right? That's a great way for me to reach out and have some conversations if I need to. And then account funding in the past 12 months, I can also see if they have any type of funding and things of that nature. So that's great as well. So you see that there's different ways of going about this across the board. Now you have your filters, you have the things in place. Let's look at how you should go about this in terms of mapping. So you can account map in Sales Nav. I know, look, I'm dropping, y'all. This is another hidden gem. I don't think y'all even knew about this one. So it's like, dang, son, where'd you find this? Like, I don't know if y'all listened to mixtapes or raps back in the day, but when I heard that song, I was like, this song's about to be fire. Just like this tip that, again, most people don't know about this. So let's pick an account. Most of you might have heard of a company called Twilio. So we're going to click here and we're going to show you different examples. So let's click the account map. So here are different ways on how you can do this. Now, I can have this way more fleshed out, by the way, and continuously pull up different examples to do this. But these are just saved leads I have within Twilio. And again, this is just an example, just as if you were working off this account and it was like you just added it. So the thing with this is I can add people to this map, right? So we're just going to add all the saved leads for time's perspective. I can also go add people as well. I can go to employees and add them. But for the time being, let's just keep it super simple. So here, now that I've added these people, I'm like, all right, cool. This is a pretty, pretty simple thing. So I'm gonna add them around. I can move them to tier 1. I can move people to tier 3, right? And that's my list. And a cool thing about this is I can create a new map. So for this new map, I'm gonna show you how to do that. Let's say you have one map that's like all your saved leads, but then another one is like only marketers, right? And their saved leads could just be every single saved lead you have. And then let's say it's still saved leads on this one, but it's like only for the marketing people. So I'm just going to put marketing map tree. Done. So now add a new map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. I'm going to add this. And I'm going to go in here and use what we did. And by the way, there's something, I didn't mention this earlier. There's something called Atex that you can use to do this, to find these easier. But I'm just going to show you how to do this in real time. And then there, Atex, text expander, short keys, whatever you want to do. Again, I'm just showing y'all an example. So I'm going to search this in my filters. It will load. It will add people. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this lead. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we're going to save it. We're just going to save these leads for now. We can add them to the prospecting list. But actually, you don't want to do that because it's 90 days. So I need to actually go and change that. But just want to save the leads, right? You don't want to do anything crazy. Just save them. And then we're going to go back to Twilio, and you'll see that you now have the added people. We're on our marketing map. And so I'm just going to add. And now I have new people and I can filter them out accordingly, however I want to, according to what they're trying to accomplish. And that's what I really like about it. And the last thing that I want to add to here as well is you can continuously just add people, right? and I could just like add people that I want, etc. And then, like I said, last thing I want to add is I could remove these people too if I don't want them. So there's my marketing map tree. So we built the accounts. We got the search filters. We went through how to do the saved searches. Now, let's talk about the homepage. Not anything crazy to talk about here, but I want to show you all. So you save the leads, you save the accounts like I just said, and now you want to use the homepage in a way that's unique and not overwhelming. What I find to be really helpful is clicking accounts, filter account alerts, account growth. And I'm going to give you just one here on the accounts that I think is the most helpful, because if you have an account that you're following, you want to know, are they hiring more employees? Right? Because again, that's an indicator of growth. Indication of growth means more opportunity for us to sell something to help them grow even more. So I'm gonna look through, see who's increasing their employees. Could be an opportunity for me to reach out. There's number one. Now, number two part is leads. And there's two pieces here we're gonna dive into. First part is my favorite, which is lead engagement. So every single lead that you save, it will tell you, and I let you know who has viewed your profile. This is huge, right? I know that sometimes you'll look at your profile views and you're like, wow, I got to go through all these people. This is a lot of time. So I just tell people, look, save the leads, and then now it's going to tell you who's viewing your profile. This is very helpful, so that you can see who you need to communicate with and reach out to get meetings. Because if they're viewing your profile, there's somewhat of an interest, reach out. You could potentially get a meeting across the board. So I like that one a lot. And then my other one that I like and recommend to clients is the career changes. So every single lead in here, if they go to a new organization, it'll let you know what their role is. And that's another way to reach out. Based on what I said earlier, hope it means a lot to you professionally and personally. There may be leads that you've saved, and maybe you're reaching out to them at a previous organization and they weren't responding, but now they're going to a new one. Maybe you could follow that lead and maybe see, maybe there's a better chance for me reaching out to them there. Or you always have people who said, reach out in 3 months, and then you notice they changed jobs. Okay, they were interested when they reached out. Maybe it's a time to reach out to them again, but at their new company. So, y'all, this is... Are y'all good? Like, we just dropped a lot of insight. I dropped a lot of insight here. All right. So what I'm going to say here as we get out of this video and this walkthrough is that I'm hoping that this was helpful and gives you a view on how to use Sales Navigator in a strategic and process driven way. You can take exactly what I have here. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis to get success on this platform and in this tool. So, because there's a lot of information, if there's something you want me to dive deeper into, let me know in the comments, and I can absolutely make a video on this so I can help you all be LinkedIn All-Stars. See you all in the next video.